Hi and welcome to our storytelling session this evening. I'm Lora O'Brien and I'm going to tell you one of the tales of old Ireland. Tonight we're going to read The Ninth Wave. I sat on the shore, watching the dance and sparkle of sun on water and seeing nothing. Nothing dances inside a heavy heart. Nothing sparkles through a weary, worn spirit. I was nothing then. The great sea heaved its rhythm through my head regardless. The pattern of waves inserted into my mind, inciting me to notice, to follow, to count the waves. Each one lapped in and out, with steady ebb and flow. I followed. In the cycle, 1 to 8 were even, and then the ninth came. The ninth wave came each time, larger and longer, bolder and bigger. Fine and free the ninth wave fell. I watched each time. I felt it coming now. A familiar build through the order, and then the crash and boom, the expression of power and promise. The sun danced and sparkled on the water, a broad golden glitter, a pathway pulsing with each wave, and never clearer than on the ninth. Promise. The land of promise lay across the broad ocean. Tír Tarngira. It called to me to come away, to follow the path across the sea and find my peace in promise. And the ninth wave brought a distant shadow on the horizon. But when it fell to shore, the shadow passed. Each cycle brought the shadow closer, a smudge with the coming of the next ninth wave, and a shape with the show of the next. A silhouette, a figure, a woman. She stepped then across the golden glitter with the lightest of feet. Calm and balanced, she rose and fell, moving to shore and nearer with each ninth. Her face and form awoke me, my heart and spirit responding to the perfection of sheer she beauty. My eyes had never rested on such wonder before the vision of her approach. She strode the sea as a creature born to it, finding with each footstep a perfect wavelet crest on which to float. When she reached the sand, she stopped, the water bearing her weight without the touch of land beneath her. She beckoned me from my daze. When I stood in front of her, her radiance near blinded my eyes, and I wanted more. I wanted the sight of her to be the last thing I ever did see. Her name was Cleana, she said, as I stayed dumbstruck in her presence. Descendant of Lear and daughter of Manannán, keeper of oceans. Her voice soothed my soul as the sound of gently lapping water, as the sound of a breeze sighing through seagrass. She came with the waves to answer my call, she said, to offer succor, to bring me to promise. Oh, I wanted that. I wanted to sit with her, to see her face, to hear her voice, to feel all that I felt in that moment forevermore. I wanted that with my heart, with my spirit, with all that danced and sparkled in her presence. She lifted her hand and pointed along the shore. A currach lay there, up the way a bit and broken a bit, as it hadn't been treated yet for the season. I went and she watched as I pulled it over, and satisfied myself that it would float at least, across the golden pathway to get me to Tír Tairngire. I lifted and dragged the little boat down to the water's edge, to where she stood with waves licking her toes and heels, and I pushed it out into the sea, waiting till it was borne afloat and then climbing inside. I watched her face as she kept pace with the craft, as the waves brought us away from land. I focused on her form as each ninth wave lifted us higher, pushed us farther along the path that disappeared rapidly as the clouds came down. I listened to her laughter as each ninth wave crashed each time onto the bow of the boat. My heart danced and my spirit sparkled as Cleana's ninth wave crushed my craft, bringing me to promise and into her world. And that's not the last time one of us was brought to their world that way. But sure, they're all stories for another day. Now, if you enjoyed that story, please leave a like or a comment or a love heart. I love to see those love hearts coming. And you can check out the monthly stories on Patreon. For just $3 a month, you get a fresh new Irish story delivered right to your email. And that's on patreon.com/Lora O'Brien. And we do have, if you're interested in the other world, and Cleana and Manannán Mac Lir, we do have a class that's on Sunday, the 25th of February. And that's going to run live then at 9 p.m, so the same time that this live session ran. And that is called Meeting Manannán Mac Lir. And we'll do a class where we learn about Manannán Mac Lir, and then we'll do a guided journey into the Irish otherworld using my particular native technique. So I'm really, really glad to see so many people have joined in. And if you would like to hear me do another story, then let me know. There's some stories over on my blog at loraobrien.ie. And they're published there on the blog. So if there's any of those you'd like, please give me a shout. Or if you're on Patreon, then you can choose one of the monthly stories that you've read. And I would be very, very happy to read it out for you. And we might make this a regular session. Okay? So, slán, agus gur mágat.